Yesterday, Facebook, Google, and Twitter removed hundreds of pages, groups, and accounts from Iranian and Russian individuals that had a coordinated attack to try to influence our election. This week, earlier, conservative think tanks, Republican groups, and Senate official sites were targeted by Russian hackers. Today, Democratic National Committee just detected and announced what it believes was a sophisticated attack to try to hack into its database system, very similar to the attack that Hillary Clinton's campaign had during the 2016 election time period. And then today, we postponed in the Senate a committee debating election security. Clearly, states like Russia, Iran, North Korea, and others are trying to influence our elections. They've demonstrated the capability, the willingness, the intent to come after us to try to influence us. They're looking for vulnerabilities in states, not to necessarily pick one candidate over another, but to be able to sow chaos and to be able to use information against us. These same nation states are also pursuing independent hackers, not necessarily working for their government at all, just individual hackers that are willing to be hired out to be able to do whatever these nation states want them to do, or to be able to hack in and get information and then sell that information to a nation state that might be interested in it. Election security is not a partisan issue, it is a democracy issue. And we should take the security of our next election seriously, just like we take the security of our infrastructure seriously, our banking system seriously, our power and electrical grid, our water. Those are areas that need to be secured. And I am disappointed there was yet another delay in working through that on election security. But I do appreciate the work of the Rules Committee and what they're doing to continue to refine this. And I do anticipate in the days ahead, we will have a hearing on this issue, and it will move to this floor for final passage. The bill that's being debated is pretty straightforward. It requires voter-verified paper audit trails in order to receive any kind of federal funding. They've got to be able to have some way to be able to audit their elections, requiring that all states that take federal money that help them in their election systems can also conduct post-audit election audits or post-election audits that are determined by the states. It's not a reason for the federal government to step in and tell states how to be able to do that. That is uniquely the role of the state. And it requires communication between the states and the federal government on election infrastructure breaches. There are ways to be able to do that, to be able to honor the state's authority to be able to run their elections, but still understand that we have vulnerability nationwide if any one state is vulnerable. I've heard the arguments on the bill and on information sharing. But I would say that it's clear that an attack on any one state, on any one county, could jeopardize the integrity of our nation's election security system. I've heard that states may not need to conduct their own post audits, that it's been kind of a trust us, things will work out fine. The challenge that I have with that is 5 states in the United States right now, and as of this election coming up in November, will not be able to even do a post-audit election on their system. 5 states. 9 additional states have some counties within their state that cannot do a post-election audit. So the problem with Trust Me is there's no way to be able to verify on the backside. I only get Trust Me, but no verification. The bill that's coming through on the Secure Election Act that myself and Amy Klobuchar from Minnesota are trying and working so hard to be able to work through the system allows the states to still run their own election system, allows for the flexibility of the states that they absolutely need in the vendors that they choose to use and all the details that they choose to do in that, but it requires a simple ability to be able to audit their systems after it's over, so that no nation state, no group of hackers can stand up and say we did it and there's no way to be able to prove them wrong. Audits are not recounts. Audits just give voters confidence that the vote that they cast was counted. To be clear, we have advanced a tremendous amount since the 2016 election time period. Department of Homeland Security has done a lot to be able to help protect our system. States have stepped up significantly to be able to protect their systems, but there's more to go. DHS now has security clearances for election officials or the capability to do immediate security conversations with every single state in the United States. That's important because in 2016, that didn't occur. And the communication about the threat that was coming at the United States couldn't be communicated to the states sometimes for months, sometimes for over a year. That's been fixed. There's been cyber assistance that's been offered to every single state, and many of those states have taken it, where DHS has been able to work with individual states to be able to check their systems, make sure it's secure, and to be able to provide a filter to be able to filter out malicious hackers on top of their already consistent filters that are there, to provide kind of a belt and suspenders protection for their election systems. DHS has already given priority to any request from any state that asks for election assistance, where they will literally take people off other assignments and be able to get those individuals to election officials of any state that asks for it. And all requests from every state that has asked for additional assistance has been fulfilled. They've also run, DHS that is, has also run recently what they call a Tabletop the Vote 2018. They were running a national cyber exercise to be able to practice how would this work, what would happen, what vulnerabilities are there. And they got tremendous feedback from the states as they did the exercise, working with the states that would participate with them and finding out where they could share information. They set up a tremendous resource for Election Day itself to be able to watch out for malicious attacks during Election Day and the run-up to the election, and to make sure they have rapid communication. None of that existed in 2016. That's real progress. But we've got to get some of these legislative solutions as well in place. At the end of the day, states are going to control their elections. But I don't expect every state in the United States to protect themselves against a foreign attack. That is the responsibility of the federal government to be able to step in and to be able to help protect our systems. So we're trying to hit this balance with the Secure Elections Act. States still run their elections, federal government does their part, and the American people do their part by stepping up to be able to vote with confidence, to know that their vote actually counts. Congress needs to pass this legislation. We need to move it across the committee line and across this floor, because the election issues that we're facing right now are not going away, and they're not getting easier. And states could use our help. It's about time we step up and do it. With that, I yield the floor.